I feel like I was overlooked a lot throughout my high school career and even my junior college career. I only had like 2 or 3 Division I offers coming out of my Juco, and I decided, Southern Illinois was the best place for me to go.
Saluki Baseball sure is happy Phil Archer chose what he chose coming out of Olney Central College a couple years ago. It was a breakout season for Phil in 2020 during the COVID-shortened spring. Average was up over 80 points for Philip Archer. He hit .344 in the first 18 games of the season, was third in the Valley in hits, third in the Valley in doubles, and with first-year head coach Lance Rhodes, the team performed really well too. Got off to a 12-6 start. The first baseman, the native of Greenville, Indiana, is our guest this week on the Saluki Standards podcast. Obviously, the World Series going on right now. Who are you pulling for between the Dodgers
for
and
Rays? The Rays, 100%. Yeah, I hope to see them do it. They got a win last night, and hopefully they can continue on that streak.
What's drawn you to the Rays?
Just the pure fact they haven't done it in a while. Dodgers, they've been there quite a few times, and I know they haven't done it in a while either. But the Rays, I hope they get it for sure.
Is there a player that you're drawn to that you identify with on the Rays or the Dodgers?
Probably more the Dodgers. I'm kind of a Bellinger fan. Like his swing, left-handed. Can't go wrong with that. But more the Dodgers players than the Rays.
I was hoping maybe you'd say G-Man Choi or something.
Well, we definitely resemble bodies, don't we?
Hey, I wasn't going there. I was just saying left-handed first baseman, got some pop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So if Bellinger's your guy, are we going to see you out in center field next year?
I don't know if Coach Rhodes would let me do that one, but yeah, I do like Bellinger. He's a good ball player.
Yeah, I guess you got lots of lefties to choose from in the series, don't you?
That is true. There's a lot of lefties. Of course, Seager's off to a hot start, or I guess hot postseason. 7 home runs yesterday. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, then Wendell and Kiermaier's lefty, Joey.
Yep.
You got a bunch of them.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. Yep.
Outside of this series, was there a major league hitter you grew up trying to emulate?
I would probably say Bryce Harper more than anything. I do like Bryce Harper. I think he's a good ball player and he's got a good swing. But I've been kind of modeling after all kinds of different major leaguers. Took to Joey Gallo recently, and Rios is obviously he's in the World Series and been watching him a lot. But yeah, a lot of those power lefties I like to hone in on.
What parts of Bryce Harper's swing do you think are in your swing?
Well, back in the day, probably the leg kick. Nowadays, I kind of eliminated that, at least not as big as what it used to be. But, I like his swing. He's long through the zone. He's powerful and obviously got a lot of pull power. I like to kind of relate to that. So,
what about Joey Gallo? He's a guy that's, I'm sure, big into the launch angle. He had a ton of home runs.
Yep.
Kind of a 3 true outcome guy. What do you like about Gallo's swing?
Same thing. I mean, if you watch his swing, fundamentally it is almost perfect. He does a good job staying long through the zone, just like Bryce Harper. And his power is unbelievable. He's got that ability to hit it out, any place of the park, and incredible guy as well. So I enjoy watching him.
It's interesting you say pull side power. I've always thought you've had the ability to spray the ball a little bit, go out to left center field a bit, out to the gap, and obviously have the pull side power you're talking about. Have you always been, a guy that can spray it to all fields, or have you been a pull side guy most of your career?
Yeah, I mean, my dad will tell you personally, when I'm hitting the ball good and I'm hitting a lot of home runs, I tend to usually hit a moppo and dead center. That's usually what I do. But yeah, obviously I like to pull the ball, and if I get the opportunity to pull a pitch and take it out of the yard, that's any home run's a good one, So yeah.
Does it feel better as a hitter when you hit one on the sweet spot to the pull side?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no better feeling than that. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, definitely. So what did this summer look like for you when everything got shut down? Couldn't finish out your spring season. Did you get a chance to play any summer ball?
No, I didn't actually. Obviously, with everything that happened, it was a very unfortunate situation that we were put in, and a lot of us, especially the senior class, we thought we might have played our last baseball game. It was very heartbreaking, but luckily, we had this opportunity to come back. And of course, my dad's told me since I was young, you play until you can't play no more. So, of course, Coach Rhodes called me and he said, you want to come back? And I said, yes, sir. I'm back for another year as long as you'll have me. And, we've got a lot of maturity this year, a lot of older guys, and I think it's going to be a good year for sure.
How long was
summer-wise?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry to interrupt there. But yeah, summer-wise, we didn't really get a chance to do much. A lot of those, summer leagues, they canceled their play, and I know a few of our guys, got to play in some leagues, around the country. But yeah, especially for us, I mean, we weren't signed up, senior class. We weren't signed up in any league, thinking it was going to be our last year. So,
how long was that waiting period where you're kind of in flux, not knowing if you're going to play again, to the point where Coach Rhodes said, "Hey, come on back"?
Yeah, it was long. I mean, it was very long. It felt like an eternity. But yeah, I remember the day that he told us we're done for the year, and I mean, it was several months before the NCAA made their final decision, and of course with Coach Rhodes to give that call, and I mean, it was like music to my ears, really. I mean, but yeah, it was a few months for sure.
So are you sitting around still working out with the slim hope that you can play again, or did you kind of shut things down there for a bit?
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can ask any ball player. I mean, when you play, you got to keep up with your game and your craft. And so, I mean, of course, I was hitting as much as I possibly could and keeping refined. But yeah, I mean, that's all you really can do. Obviously, the whole question was up in the air if we were going to be able to come back and do it again. And I had to keep my game as close to perfect as I possibly could. And that's what I did during the summer. That's pretty much what I focused on. Didn't have the facilities and the things that I probably would have hoped to have, especially here at SIU, being home with the coronavirus. But, we made do with what I had. And, yeah.
What did you have to work out with?
Oh, well, I mean, our high school field I'm from Indiana, so our high school field, they opened their facilities back up. I think it was early April, I think is what it was. So we kind of got on the field, and my dad, I've been blessed to have him throw to me and whatnot. So my little brother, he's over at John A. Logan. So we always go out there on the field and get as many hacks as we can once the field opened up. But until then, we were just sitting in the cages anywhere and everywhere we could. And then, workout facility wise, I've got a little weight room down in the basement of my house that, we have a little squat rack and bench press place and whatnot. So I've been working out there.
What kind of look can Dad give you when you're taking batting practice off him? Does he throw behind an L screen? Does he throw you flips?
Oh yeah, no, he'll get behind the L screen. He's got a rubber arm. Over the years he's definitely wear and tearing, with his knee and whatnot. But he does a phenomenal job, and the amount of support he's given has been phenomenal. But he does a good job for sure.
I'm guessing you went a while without seeing live pitching then. I mean, you can take batting practice. Yep. But what was it like when you got back in the fall and took a live at bat again?
Yeah, so I mean, we had to quarantine the whole team for a few weeks, and we kind of got in the swing of things when we got back, obviously, and we really felt good, refined our swings back with all of our coaches, and we had that quarantine period, and that that kind of hurt us as a team for sure. But yeah, it took me a few inter squads to kind of get back to normal, back to where I normally swing. But yeah, it definitely hurt us. But seeing that live pitching again was interesting after 3 weeks off for sure.
What'd you realize that you had forgotten about with not seeing live pitching once you saw it again?
Oh man, timing probably. Timing. It was your swing. You can hit in the cage and do T work, soft toss, DP, whatever. I mean, your swing, most of the time stays the same. You might tweak here and there, but your timing is the biggest aspect of hitting. Being on time and squaring up a pitch is very difficult, and especially when you haven't seen live pitching in that long period of time. It was tough to adjust for sure.
Definitely. Let's talk about your start last spring. 344 average through 18 games, had that 8-game hitting streak at one point. What clicked for you last spring?
Well, pretty much just buying into our program. Coach Maggs, our hitting coach, he did a phenomenal job with all the hitters. I mean, as you can see, he turned our hitting program completely around from what it was my junior year to last year. Just buying in and trusting the process, and I think that my swing really changed tremendously from that time to now. I've definitely become a better hitter, and as you can see, just statistically, a lot of hitters in our lineup have changed. If you look at our team stats, I mean, we jumped from almost being last in the conference and everything to being first in about everything in the conference. So really just buying in, trusting our coaches, trusting the process, and believing in it.
What were some of those fundamental or technique tweaks that you made individually?
Yeah, I'd probably say, like I said, I like Bryce Harper. If you watch Bryce Harper swing a lot, sometimes that the back leg will kind of come out of its spot that it's glued in, and he gets power that way. I tend to do that a lot of times, and I found that my swing actually tended to be better when I stayed more solid and I was set with my approach. Another thing is the approach. I mean, the approach is everything. Our scouting report, our scouting system is phenomenal on who's on the mound and whatnot. So knowing what percentage of pitches are coming from the certain pitchers and having a good game plan, a good approach when I go up to the plate, and then just trusting what we've been doing the whole entire fall was the whole thing. I mean, we practice every day on different aspects of two-strike hitting and anything. We'll practice it, and I think that really that set a good basis for us in games.
When you talked about Coach Magnifico, your new hitting coach last year, when he first came in and saw you take some swings for the first time, what was some of the information that he passed along to you about how you could get better?
Yeah, I remember. So I was here in the summer 2 years ago taking some summer courses, and I remember the first week he was here, I think I posted a video or something on my Instagram, and I haven't met Coach Magnifico yet, and he called me in the office immediately. He said, I want to talk about hitting. That was the first thing. So I mean, he was excited from the minute to see our guys and see what we got and see what he can do to help. And I mean, he definitely did a phenomenal job, and he's just nothing but excited. Very high energy, high positivity guy. He definitely has helped us for sure.
What do you think of your Instagram video? Did he like what you were doing, or did he want to?
Yeah, there was parts. There's definitely parts. I mean, there's some parts that he's like, we need to work on this and this, and that's kind of where I knew right then and there that I was really going to like Coach Maggs because he's serious about the game, and he wants to make every player their best form of themselves. So.
Another stat that I wouldn't say jumped off the page, but it was an uptick from 2019, your first year at SIU, is you stole 3 bases this spring. Were we sleeping on your speed a little bit when you first got here?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a big guy. I mean, most people know that, but I can run the bases when I need to. But yeah, we practice a lot of those kind of sneaky plays, as I like to call them, the delayed steals, and kind of catching people off guard. And I'm definitely one of those players that'll catch you off guard if you're a catcher that sleeps back there. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting stats. I always get a lot of laughs on it. If there's ever a steal notched in the column for me. So.
So are those bases you're stealing on your own, or are you green lighted over from the third base box?
Oh, 100% not green lighted. I do not have the green light. I have the red light. I actually remember at Jackson State last year, they would pretty much yell at me about red lights. Like, this is a red light up the bat. So, but yeah, no, definitely not a green light. Kind of, trying to catch the defense off guard kind of guy.
You're a one base at a time kind of guy, even if it's in the
for sure.
in the gap.
For sure.
I want to talk about your junior college background a little bit. coming to the Division I level from junior college. First of all, just culturally, you hear stories about junior college, about riding the buses and playing on some dirt fields and tough infield stuff like that. Biggest difference in those sort of things from JUCO to D1?
Tremendous. I mean, you go to a JUCO to mainly do, two things: get your education and further that, and then also I guess progress as a baseball player is what I'm trying to say. And I did those two things at my junior college. My junior college was a great stepping stone for me. They definitely progressed me as a baseball player. Not only physically but mentally, I would say. Definitely learned a lot about the game. My coach there, he very, very knowledgeable coach, very, very smart in the game, and he helped for sure a lot. As far as the facilities, I mean, you definitely it's very humbling to go to a junior college, and that's why I do have a lot of respect for junior college players, because it is very humbling. You don't have the facilities and the meals that you would have at the Division I level. So definitely, it was a big transfer for sure. Big transfer.
I remember having Ian Walters on right after the season. He came from junior college too, your teammate.
Yep.
And he was telling stories about like having $4 to get McDonald's after the game, and guys are huddled around the dollar menu. Do you have any of those type of stories?
Oh, I have got a tremendous amount of those stories. We used to basically, if we ever played good, we would get Fazoli's. That was our thing. Fazoli's was on the way back from a lot of schools. So if we ever did good, played good, we got a good Fazoli's meal. That was like a treat. But you ever did bad, we'd get McDonald's or Wendy's. We get $4. The 4 for $4. We lived off that. That was the way it was. But
Fazoli's, man, most butter you'll ever get on a breadstick.
You gotta love the breadsticks.
What about the level of competition? What did you notice in the difference between the pitching, JUCO to D1?
Oh my, I mean the pitching. There's a lot of good teams in the GRAC. GRAC is a very very competitive conference, and I'm sure Ian probably said a lot about that. But the pitching in the GRAC was pretty good. I mean, I felt like they had every team probably had about 2 or 3 guys that could really throw it, and Division I arms. And I think that was the biggest jump for me from JUCO to Division I. Just was basically the consistency of arms. At a Division I level, you're stepping up to the plate facing a legitimate Division I arm every time, and the amount of focus and attention to detail that you have to pretty much portray whenever you're in the box is definitely higher than at the junior college level. But I definitely faced some very good teams in my junior college days, and saw some very good pitching. I saw some draft arms and some Division I arms, but the consistency is really the main key between JUCO and Division I.
Are you mentally tired after a Division I game?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, you do your research on a lot of these arms. We go into a weekend series. We know their Friday, Saturday, Sunday guy. We watch video on every bullpen guy and what their closer is going to do. We know percentages and what kind of pitches they're going to throw in every count. And at times it can be mentally exhausting. But yeah, we're ready to go as soon as we step in the box. Every single one of our hitters. We've got a lot of tough hitters, especially this year, and yeah, it can be mentally exhausting at times for sure.
Is it more of a mental grind than a physical grind? Is that true?
At the plate, I would say so. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Hardest at bat you've ever had? Is there one that stands out where you were especially challenged?
Yeah, actually, this goes back to junior year. We were facing DBU Friday night. They bring in Caraway, which was one of their kind of relievers / closers, hard throwing lefty. I remember the first at bat. I went up there and I was the first person to face Caraway. Caraway is obviously a very good pitcher, and I remember first pitch he threw me a slider disgusting slider, and it buckled me. And I'm thinking, wow, I mean, that was incredible. I mean, how am I going to hit this? And I ended up actually striking out that AB, but came up the next time against him and actually hit a single and brought JT up to the plate, I believe, and he walked it off for us. So, yeah, just things like that. Mentally tough. Being mentally tough is huge and something that we preach here. And you know, you're going to face pitchers who are very good pitchers, and you just kind of have to mentally grind through it and try to get through that at bat, even though that pitcher is very good.
Yeah, he's I think he's with the Cubs now, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. No, I remember the at bat you're talking about because he was bringing it in the 90s from the left side and kind of throwing that slider that you were talking about. But you know, baseball fans hear this all the time, but I don't know if they can actually understand unless they actually stand in the box. But the difference for you as a left-hander and trying to read the ball out of a left-hander's hand versus a right-hander's hand, what is it?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely harder. The slider, especially, you know, if you have a good lefty who's, you know, got a good arm angle, their fastball and slider look identical out of the hand. Of course, it's coming across your body. You know, you have that aspect of it. Just really the righties, you can see the ball a lot longer. Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely tougher to face a lefty.
Definitely. What about your own pitching staff? Who's the hardest guy for you to face on your own pitching staff?
So far in inter squad, it's been Kyle Back. Kyle Back's a tall lefty, throws well. He's got a very good slider. It's just very hard to pick up. He does well in mixing up pitches and whatnot. And of course, you've got, you know, the usual people who, you know, are very good pitchers. Trey McDaniel, Bone, as we like to call him. You know, he's obviously a very good closer, very good pitcher for us. He's always a tough AB. You know, every time we see his name on the list for the inner squad, you know, everybody's kind of like, well, here we go. You know, it's Bone. But yeah, I would say a lot of our staff, a lot of them being new, it's been tougher to hit this fall for sure, just with the level of competition of our pitching staff.
Is there a certain pitch you're working on picking up that you hate to see right now?
Right now, it's a changeup for me. Right-handed changeup. The pitchers are starting to figure out the changeups are kind of are getting me. They're tempting me right now, but we're working on it and learning how to hit it. I'll be ready to go in the spring.
You're getting out in front trying to crush fastballs, aren't you?
You're right.
I don't blame you after some time off.
Yeah, no, I'm just anxious up there, you know, but just relaxing and calming down. That's how I succeed.
No doubt. We touched on, you know, junior college to Division I, but you know, to get to this level, not a place that, you know, a big percentage of guys that play high school baseball ultimately reach. What's something you've had to overcome to get here?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. You know, a lot of people, even in high school, they had a lot of hype. A lot of Division I players, you know, they go straight to Division I out of high school, or you know, they had a lot of offers, a lot of people interested. I never really had that. I feel like I was overlooked a lot throughout my high school career and even my junior college career. I only had like 2 or 3 Division I offers coming out of my Juco, and I decided, you know, Southern Illinois was the best place for me to go. But yeah, really just overcoming the hype. I mean, a lot of people, you know, I see on social media all the time, people getting offers, and especially in high school, you think, you know, you're not good enough, or, you know, you're not, you know, good enough to play at that level, really. And just pushing through that and keep working, keep grinding. And, you know, I can't count how many times I was up in that cage at high school working. So
were there points where you thought maybe I'm not good enough to get to that level?
Oh yeah. I had a very good roommate my freshman year of junior college, and we talk about it all the time. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm, you know, good enough. I mean, I'm putting in work and I'm grinding, but yeah, I don't know if I'm there. And he's like, just give it time, man. I'm telling you, you're there. You just need to keep pushing. So.
Yeah, I hear you. Going back to your childhood, you know, you grew up outside of Louisville on the Indiana side. What made you fall in love with the game?
That's a good question as well. I grew up playing baseball and basketball. That was kind of my two sports. And, basketball, I mean, as you can see with my build, I'm not a big runner. So I kind of leaned more towards the baseball side of things. I had success early in baseball, and that kind of drove me to really like the game. Dad coached me throughout the years, so I just kind of felt like something that I really enjoyed doing, especially with him. So, yeah, baseball was just something I loved at an early age.
You've mentioned your dad several times throughout the conversation. How would you describe relationship with dad?
Oh, I mean, he's been an outstanding father. He's a amazing guy, a role model. So, but yeah, he's been with it through the years. He's coached older brother, me, and my younger brother, and he's been through it. So,
what's he do?
You talking about for work?
Yeah.
He is a part owner of a construction company, engineering, civil engineer.
Okay, so he's balancing a lot then, coaching, working, 3 boys.
Yes, yeah. No, he definitely loves to work, and he's very good at it. So,
did he have a playing background? Is that how he got into coaching you guys?
Yes, he actually played basketball in college. Played, I think, all 3 sports in high school, and played basketball in college for a few years, and then kind of decided to focus on the academic side of things and finish his education there. But yeah, he did. He was big into sports and mainly basketball. So not sure if he was upset of the fact that I didn't pursue basketball, but yeah.
Where did he play at?
He played up in a school in Michigan. I can't even remember the name, to be honest with you. And then he transferred to Ohio Wesleyan. I don't know if he played there or not, but he only played for a few years. I think he didn't really like the cold in Michigan, so he decided to go back to Ohio, where it's pretty much just as cold. So, but yeah, he definitely enjoyed playing sports growing up, and he's been around it. Big Buckeye fans. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. You mentioned your brothers too, being the middle one. What was kind of the relationship, and where did you fit in with your 2 brothers?
Oh yeah, love my brothers to death. They, older brother, he went a little different route with sports. He threw shot and disc. Went to University of Indianapolis. He actually went to Juco route as well, Vincent's University, and he's just been a great older brother and role model. Like I said, and little brother, it's always good to have a little brother to pick on and kind of, have a good friend there. But he's in the same footsteps as me, playing baseball and getting his education. He's over there at John A. Logan. He loves it there. So yeah, it's good brothers, very good brothers.
How much do you see your younger brother since he's right here in town?
He's around all the time, and mostly he's coming over to do laundry or use my my laundry machines. But he comes around, hangs out time to time. When he's not too busy with baseball, school, or something. But yeah, I see him quite a bit.
Are you trying to work something out to get him to be a Saluki at some point?
I'd love that. I mean, I'm sure he would love that as well. He's got some things to work on and refine some aspects of his game, but the potential is definitely there. And good guy, good kid, and works hard. So.
For sure. How about for you? Just to kind of tie a bow on this, with what you're studying and being back for another year, what do you hope the future holds for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to come back, mainly because of the reason of education, and I wrapped up my bachelor's degree in sports administration, and kind of wanted to move on towards something that I really kind of feel called to do. Which is, I feel like I need to help people in some sort of way. And I enjoy talking. I'm sure that people probably would see that from this conversation here. But yeah, I'd love to be some type of pharmaceutical representative, maybe medical devices or something like that, just representing a product and selling it. I feel like that's kind of something I've been called to do. So I decided to pursue my master's in health administration and my first semesters of that. And it's going pretty good. Do
you have to do any sort of observation hours or anything like that?
Not yet. Yeah, later on, kind of we have like a little internship that's required for the program that we'll get into. But yeah, this has kind of been so far just introductory classes, and luckily my roommate this year, he's in the same sort of program. So we've been kind of, bouncing back and forth and making sure we keep up with our work and, doing everything correctly. So.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, good luck with all that. I really appreciate your time doing this, and
Thank you.
Let's get a full 50 plus in next spring. How about it?
That sounds good to me.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you for having me.